Maximize your wealth now.
Yes, in business, finance, family, and lifestyle. Think about it. As a certified financial educator, my whole goal for this program originally was to bring business and finance together with spiritual principles and universal laws. And all of it needs to come from the heart. Got it?
Maximize your wealth now.
Absolutely. Yes!
Welcome back to Maximize Your Wealth Now.
In business, finance, family, and lifestyle. We're going to have so much fun today because we have never really had a chance to interview each other. And we thought that maybe you'd like to get to know who we are and what our mission in the world is. Isn't that a good idea?
I think that's a great idea. Thank you. Yes.
So let's start with Barbara.
Wainwright is the CEO and founder of Wainwright Global Institute of Professional Coaching, as well as a master coach, speaker, author, and executive producer of WMAX-TV. Barbara has dedicated her life to helping others discover their life purpose so that they can actualize their purpose with a new level of confidence, generating spiritual abundance and inner peace. Barbara's business experience mirrors that of the American dream when, as a single mother struggling to support her children, she founded JF Positive Systems, a software development company which she ran for 22 years. With a deepening desire to make a difference, Barbara began sharing her knowledge and experience to help others succeed.
None of us in here are on purpose for a comfortable life. We're all here to stretch, to grow, to give back, to be the best that we can be. That's why you're here.
She developed a coaching system using the theory of the mind, positive thinking, NLP, goal setting, personal motivation, and accountability, which have been the key ingredients to her success. Since 2006, Barbara has been responsible for training over 6,000 professional coaches on 6 continents and has established credibility in the coaching industry through acquiring third-party accreditation at the graduate university level. Barbara has co-created coaching curriculum in the areas of relationship, addiction recovery, spirituality, and has trained project managers and HR personnel at Fortune 50 companies. Her community outreach includes efforts in Oceanside, California, and Everett, Washington.
Barbara is an amazing woman, and she is truly a global difference maker. And her company is called Wainwright Global. And you already know about her from her sizzle reels. So I just want to jump right in and start asking her questions. Is that okay?
That's brilliant.
Awesome. So Barbara, tell me how you got your start being a coach.
Thank you for that. You know, I have been coaching and training coaches since 2006, and I learned about coaching quite a while before that. And I decided that coaching was so important for individuals to know about because it's so powerful as a catalyst for change. And I was in the software development industry. I worked in that industry for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
I know, a long time. And I loved doing that. But for 10 years of that time, I knew there was some other calling for me inside of me. There was something else that I needed to do. I didn't know what it was. And I tinkered around in little things, and I finally discovered coaching. It just popped up in my face one day, coaching, and I went, oh my goodness, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is the message I'm supposed to deliver to the world. I knew it instantly. And so I flew up to Canada and I got my training and never looked back from that. So,
yeah. And you know what I really love about Barbara is that she has an accreditation program. And I think that maybe you should explain that to our viewers.
Thank you for that question. Okay, so yes. Accreditation is really important because there are so many people out there. In fact, I think there's over 250 coach training organizations. And the difference between the organizations that are providing their own certification versus a company that's providing a third-party accredited coaching certification is huge. So you want to get an education in coaching where the curriculum has been accredited. And with Wainwright Global, we have AASCB accreditation, which is American Association of Schools and Colleges of Business. So you can count on the fact that the information that you're going to be learning has been approved at the university graduate level. So you're getting a very solid education when you come through Wainwright Global. And we have that third-party accrediting body that is going to give you a credential that is a U.S. registered trademark of certified professional coach. Now, these things are important to you. When you carry a credential behind your name, it gives you a bigger status than if you walk in without one. And it's been proven. There was an article written in a magazine called Pay Scale that said for individuals that have a credential behind their name, like you will if you come through Wainwright Global Training, that you will have a 30% increase on your income. That's huge. So getting a credential behind your name is very important. Getting one that is from an accredited organization, very important. And having a credential that carries a U.S. registered trademark behind it, important too. And so it benefits you in so many ways.
And I know exactly what you mean about that, because even people coming on the show, I'm looking for their credentials right away. I don't want them to come on the show unless they've been tested and we know that the information that they're giving you is the right information. And so the accreditation is absolutely huge, and it takes a long time to get that provision so that you can have it, doesn't it?
It does. It's a 3-year vetting process, and they vet the curriculum, but mostly they vet the results. What's happening with your coaches? We've trained over 6,000 coaches now, so they do a review of what the results are from the people that are actually doing the coaching. Not how is their business, but what is the results of their clients that are coming through the training. So it's a vetting process that takes 3 years to make sure that the results are consistent and solid and reportable. Yeah.
And the part of the reason that we wanted to have Barbara do this for you is if you are looking to be a coach and you want that accreditation, she has it. There's so many out there that don't have it, and that's so important to you, especially if you want 30% more in income, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Would you define for us the difference between, and people get this so confused, the difference between coaches, trainers, consultants, and educators?
Beautiful. Educating is typically thought of as a higher level education. Training is typically thought of somebody where you're going to do skills and that type of thing. And then with the consulting, you need to know everything about your topic before you walk in the door. As a consultant, for example, that's what I did for 30 years. I was a software development consultant, which means that I needed to know everything. I needed to know from user design, development, creating the application, creating all the design documents, functional specifications, going into the programming stage, going into the Q&A and making sure everything's working, going to the user training and getting and implementation of the systems, and sometimes that required a conversion. I needed to know all of that in order to be a consultant. And that's true for you. If you're going to be out there consulting in a particular field because you have expertise like you do, Shirlene, you have an amazing background and you can provide so much value as a consultant for people. You do that all the time. Mm-hmm. So coaching is different in that we aren't there to tell anybody what to do. We aren't there to provide the level of expertise as a consultant. We might have a list of consultants that we might refer. We might be able to consult in an area that we've previously had in our background. Like I could absolutely go from coaching to consulting when it comes to information technology or social media marketing or how to build out your infrastructure, those types of things. But mostly when I'm coaching, I'm only staying in the question. And that's the important difference. When you're a consultant, you're telling and you're providing information. Mm-hmm. And when you're a coach, you're asking and you're digging deep into your client's background and what it is that they want to do and where do they want to go. So coaching is about pulling out from the client their expertise, their magic, their dreams, their desires. Where do they want to go? What do they want to do? What impact do they want to have on the world? And then once we've pulled that out of them and they're happy and they're like, yes, this is fired up, this is really what I want to do, and they might not have known, they might not have had a clue, but once we go through all the questions and we get that inspiration flowing in them, it'll come through them what it is. Now, I couldn't tell them what that is. Mm-hmm. We have to dig deep and find it out inside of them. And then once we've done that, we create a vision statement for our client to hold them in a focus of where they want to go and what they want to have done. So then the next thing we do as coaches is we provide accountability and a structure. And we create, and I think of it almost as project management. We want to keep them on task for moving forward to live the life of their dreams. That's the important piece right there. We keep them moving forward, and the magic of it is, the magic of coaching is that within 6 months, generally, even though we prepared a 1-year vision, in 6 months, it's typically done. Everything on the list is done, and they're ready for a new vision statement. They're ready to take it to the next level.
Wow, that's awesome, Barbara. I really love what she had to say. And you tell me, are you a coach? Are you a consultant? Are you an educator? You've got to decide. And maybe you're switching your plan right now as we're talking. I have one last question I want to ask you. What's coming up for you? What's happening?
Well, let's just say the last 10 years, I've been providing the education and the certification process for my coaches. And the next thing that I want to do is put my coaches to work. I'm working with a senator in Idaho, and we are looking toward lifting up the community that he represents in Idaho. There's 78,000 adults that can use life coaching, and they are on some type of government subsidy. And so this senator is looking to lift his community and get them off of the government subsidy. And part of our interaction will be, he'll be providing through his bill that he hopes to pass this coming January, he'll be providing funds for life coaches to lift his community, which is phenomenal.
Wow.
So I'm so looking forward to getting the coaches working with that group of people, because we know what a difference it can make. And I'm just thrilled to bits to be able to provide services, if you will, in that regard so I can put my coaches to work and we can lift a community, a whole state. Woo!
Wow. So look at that. She not only is going to give you accreditation, she's also already found a place where you can go to work and help a senator that needs lots and lots of coaches.
Yes, right? Right.
Yes.
So I'm super excited about that. And, you know, the senator is one area. We have other areas where we are looking for volunteer coaches as well. So, you know, things couldn't be better on the horizon. The way I see it, things couldn't be better for us as coaches out there. People have stopped asking, is that anything like football coaching or sports coaching? And so since they've stopped asking those questions, we realize that life coaching is becoming more and more well known for the dramatic changes it can make in a person's life.
Wow, yeah. That's awesome. And now you can really see why I wanted to have Barbara on the set with me, because she is such a wonderful coach and you will absolutely love working with her.
That's great.
I'm often asked how to go about finding the right training and certification company for your professional coaching business. The problem is that finding the right professional coach training and certification company can feel overwhelming and confusing. The good news is that it doesn't have to be difficult if you know what questions to ask. Searching for the right professional coach training and certification company to suit your needs can be challenging. Finding a company with flexibility that's globally accepted, affordable, and credible can feel like a tough search. So I'd like to give you a few things to consider when looking for a professional coach certification company that will suit your needs. Tip number 1, you want to make sure that your company is proven in the marketplace. The reason we've trained over 6,000 professional coaches is because we teach a system of coaching. The coaching system is easy to learn and easy to implement. Tip number 2. You want to make sure you work with a company that is affordable. Some companies charge upwards of $10,000 to $15,000, which is unnecessary. You can get a third-party accredited education for under $1,000. Tip number 3. You want to find a training that doesn't drag on for a year or even longer. You will benefit by jumping in and moving forward, and after all, coaching isn't difficult if you have the right training. At Wainwright Global Institute of Professional Coaching, we help individuals just like you who want to make a difference in the world become certified professional coaches with only 16 hours of live online training that's affordable and easily accessible. To learn more, simply go to lifecoachtrainingonline.com, where you can access our free ebook about 52 different coaching niches working miracles every day. Or call us at 800-711-4346. We're happy to help you determine the best professional coach training for your needs.
Shirlene Reeves is an international speaker, certified financial educator, executive producer of WMAX-TV, and a massive visibility media instructor, blending business, finance, and universal principles. She strengthens your business and expands your vision through massive visibility so you can make a 6 or 7-figure income while you sleep. Shirlene has a varied and balanced background with education and experience in both financial and spiritual principles. On the financial side, she is one of only 253 certified financial educators in the nation with more than 27 years of experience. She was the CEO of her own nationwide company for over 17 years, which she bootstrapped from zero to millions and has invested in real estate for more than 20 years. She has a BA in sociology with a minor in psychology and a BA and master's degree from the University of Metaphysics. On Maui, she trained with best-selling author and speaker Dr. Wayne Dyer, an American spiritual teacher, and former Harvard professor Ram Dass. Shirlene Reeves brings real-world training to the masses by sharing time-tested experiential business and financial concepts.
You know, Shirlene, you are so amazing, and your background is awesome. When it comes to financial education, I know that you're a rock star. So I know there's some things that you feel are on your heart that need to be shared with the world, and I would love it if you would share some of those things with us right now.
Well, I really appreciate you asking, believe me, because I do have some things on my heart that are really, really important. And I'm just watching everybody out there is having such a difficult time trying to figure out what they're doing with their money. And not only that, they're absolutely scared. They just don't know. They're so scared they're paralyzed. And I get it. I totally understand. The media tends to drive fear into us. I think you might have noticed that. And we have such a fluctuation in the market right now. It's ridiculous. And people don't understand that every time we change and our points drop, like 600 points the other day, that is money coming out of our bottom line. And understand that if it drops 600 points, it can't go up 600 points and take you with it, because you've already lost the money that you had in the account. So you can't get back to where you were. And I hear people all the time say, oh, wow, it all went up, so I really don't have any problem now. Not true, because you lost the money when the market went down. And so what I've really been focused on is trying to get people in a place of safety, a safe haven, so to speak, so that they don't lose their money and that they can actually make money and on occasion double it.
Wow, double their money in a different area, because in the market, like you said, it's crazy. It's up and down and you never know what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. And it's not a safe place. No. You know, I would love it if you would share about the sandwich generation, because I feel like I fit in there somewhere. And could you please tell us about that?
Well, you know, I'm really glad you asked that, to be honest, because there's so many people out there in your situation. We kind of talked about that on our last show on the college planning program. Parents are in such a difficult position because the schools are so expensive and they're having such a hard time providing education for their children, and yet it's so important. So what they do is they go for the school loans, and the school loans really start their child off on the negative. Remember, you were talking about this.
That's right.
On the negative, and what happens is they end up way in the red before they ever start to work. And then they say, oh, I can't afford to pay this loan right now. And when they say that, the government goes, yeah, okay, no problem. You don't have to pay it, right?
Yes.
Yes, you don't have
Right.
to pay it. And the reason they say that is because it's building interest constantly. So the longer you wait, the more money you owe them. And the government, I believe it's their third source of income. So that's why you see all the advertisements around school time for those school loans. And people say, oh, it's so easy to get those school loans. Well, yeah, the government loves it because they know you can't afford to pay for it for a really long time. And they've probably doubled their money on what you borrowed from them.
That's right, because what happens is you get the interest, right? The interest, it just keeps building and building. So if you can't pay right away, no problem, and your interest keeps going up. So I, for instance, took out a $10,000 student loan for my daughter to go to school, and I'm still paying the interest on it, and I probably will for a long time to come.
Exactly, exactly. And the second part of that are people who have elderly parents, because if the parents are our age, in the olden days, we didn't do any long-term care with them because it wasn't viable at that time. So now what's happening is some families are actually having to have someone stay at home just to take care of grandma or grandpa, because it costs as much money to put them in a place where they can be cared for as it does for them to go to work and spend a whole month working. So there's no point in it.
Right. I mean, it's tough for people that have parents that need care. It's really tough because not only are they trying to care for their parents, but they're also trying to put their kids through college. It's that's what the sandwich is, right? That you're trying to work with your kids and you're trying to take care of your parents, and it's tough. You know, it's really tough. As this generation, I guess the baby boomers, we're in a really tough spot financially because of that. We all want to have our kids have the best education they can get, and we all want our parents to have the best retirement, or care that they can get. And it's so hard on a limited budget, and that's where the 401ks are getting eaten alive, and it's tough out there today.
I know, and then we draw our money out of the 401k, and then guess what happens? Then we've got penalties, taxes, interest, all kinds of pain. And people say to me, why do they do all this when I don't even have any money, which is why I took it out of the 401k, and now I got all these penalties and all these, it's ridiculous,
yes,
right?
It is.
It's kind of like a losing battle. So as I've said before, we don't plan to fail. We just fail to plan. It's very simple. And there is a way to plan for your future so that these mistakes don't happen and you don't learn them the hard way. I call them golden lessons.
Golden year lessons. That's
exactly.
right. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. For two reasons. It costs a lump of gold in order to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
Pay for our mistake. And also, we're all in our golden years. We're supposed to be enjoying ourselves and having fun. But instead, we're sending kids to college and we're taking care of parents at the same time.
That's so tough. Shirlene, tell me, what is next for you? What are you looking forward to doing next?
Well, I'm really excited because I'm going to put a free webinar that talks about the simple, very simplest techniques that we can use so that we can take care of our own money. Understand, I don't understand the reason people put money in the 401k and forget it. They think that somebody else is going to make sure that their money makes money, and it isn't happening, people. It just isn't happening. So you really have to take a look at what you're doing. Don't just forget it once you put it in there. That's not the answer. And if you do put it in there, keep in mind, you lose control of your money. You no longer have the option to move it from one place or another, except within that family of funds that the company offers you. And I'm going to talk so much more about the 401k in the future because I really want you to know that there are 4 reasons why you may not be the right candidate for a 401k. And I know you're shocked, because that's what we're told always, was that we were supposed to put our money in retirement for the 401k. You remember that?
Yes, I do. I did.
And now they're saying, oh, no, we didn't say that. But they did say that. And that's why we're having such a problem. We've got a traditional value that we were told to do our whole lives. And now, if you're in your 50s or you're in your 60s and you're thinking, okay, well, I'm in it for the long haul is up. It's time to move on and make another plan.
With us now to unveil this week's new issue of Time magazine, Time's managing editor, Richard Stengel. Rick, what are we looking at this week?
Well, we're looking at a subject that is bothering millions and millions of Americans, 70 million Americans to be exact. It is the problem of 401ks and why we need to retire the 401k and why it's not working for millions of Americans. The 401k, as not many people realize, was originally created by Congress as a tax dodge for executives 30 years ago. It was never meant to be the primary vehicle of retirement for Americans, and over the last 20 years it has become so. And what we've seen over the last 5 years is, you know, if you had $100,000 in your 401k 5 years ago and you had the standard alignment of investments, you'd have less than that now. And what's been a disaster for people with the going into the Great Recession and now coming out of it is that the way the 401k works is that the closer you are to retirement, the less choice you have and the more money you're likely to lose. So people who are retiring were going into their retirement with hardly anything in their 401k.
So, and we hear time and time again, people having to work past retirement age, past 65, or some even working into their 70s because their life savings were blown over the past couple of years on 401ks.
Right, and in fact there's a quirk in the 401k, which is the closer you are to retirement, the more likely you are to lose money if the stock market goes down, because you're putting less money into it. So that's what happened to a lot of people. So we talked to dozens and dozens of people who, you know, who have retired but now have to work. And you know, originally the 401k was meant to be a supplement to the kind of retirement that you would have, pension plus Social Security. But as so many companies have gotten rid of their pensions, people have depended on the 401k and they've lost out.
So what's the plan?
I mean, I've been talking to your guys back here while I was waiting to go on, and they asked me what the cover was, and they said, yeah, tell me about it. You know, I've lost all, I don't even look at my 401k anymore.
Yeah. So what do we do instead?
Well, what we propose instead, and that story is by a young business writer of ours named Steve Gandel, is a insurance pension plan, where instead of paying that money into a 401k, 6% of your salary every week or month, you pay it into an insurance plan that guarantees you a pension, basically, for the rest of your life at about a quarter of your salary.
Wow, so right now it's time to say thank you, Shirlene, for that information.
And thank you, Barbara. I loved it.
We want to say thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you again on the next show.